Honestly, this was a challenge, I'm not gonna lie.
Throughout the past week, I decided to meditate for 1 hour every single day. And this really was a challenge for me because before this, I meditated for about 10 to 30 minutes every single morning. So taking that increase in time was really difficult, I'm not gonna lie. Now I wanna be cautious about calling this a challenge because in my eyes, it's really not a challenge. The challenge is increasing the length of time to an hour, where before I was doing it for 30 minutes, that's the challenge. But the reason I did this was for the meditation, because while meditating, I will improve my overall health, I'll improve my overall mental state of being. That's more of a lifestyle rather than a challenge. The way I went about doing this was grabbing a space where I could be quiet, away from all distractions. Preferably I like to go outside because like the birds, the wind, even the cars passing by, kids screaming in the background, whatever it was, actually helped me like settle into the present moment. So choose a spot where you are isolated, where you're really not gonna be distracted. So there was 3 things I had during this meditation. One was a timer to time myself, obviously. The second one was a cup of water. This I feel like is so key because after I was done meditating, I just became like dehydrated out of nowhere every single time. So a cup of water was very beneficial just to have right by my side. And the third one was a journal. This one I think is the most important out of the 3. Even when I was meditating, I would have these thoughts run through my head, these ideas run through my head, these, I don't know, brilliant, like, imagine it. It's so crazy, I can't even describe it. I'm like, I gotta write this down. I have to find, I wanted to grab the paper right there and write it down because I just thought it was like either something really beautiful or something really powerful, like a quote that I just wanted to write down. So I highly recommend if you're gonna do this, grab the journal, write it down for 7 days. Throughout the 7 days of meditating, everything was up and down. Like day 1 was my best day. I felt bliss. And honestly, it went by really fast. It was the fastest day out of the 7 days. I think mostly because I was just soaked in the present moment and I wasn't really focused on the past or the future. Day 2 was my worst day. I ended with 7 minutes to go, so I quit. And then I looked at the clock and I was like, really, there's 7 minutes left. I had 7 minutes left and I got up. That was the hardest day. Day 2, hardest day. And then to follow day 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, all held different aspects. Yes, there were times throughout the hour where I would be at like a peak, I guess I could say, where I felt bliss and I felt at peace. And then there was times like say 20 minutes later where I'd lose that momentum and then I kind of go down and lose that spiral of the present moment and I'd be somewhere else thinking about either the future or the past. And this leads me to my next thing, which is how could I improve this for myself for the next time I meditate? Which is 1, picking a spot where I'm gonna be comfortable. This was where I think I failed on day 2, where I quit at the end because I was uncomfortable. I was sitting there, you're gonna be sitting there for an hour, so it's like, if I have to be in a position, I probably would prefer either sitting in a chair or lying down flat on my back. Day 2, I was lying crisscrossed and my hip flexors were shot, my glutes were on fire, and I was like, I can't take this anymore. I was kind of uncomfortable, and then I just moved my body, I opened my eyes, and then that's kind of where everything just went down in the spiral. And I really don't think there's a specific way of meditating. I think everyone meditates differently. Whether you like sitting, go for it. Whether you like lying down, go for it. Some people stand and meditate. Hey, whatever works for you, go do that. And the second thing is setting an intention, a strong intention. I did this on one of my days and it was really powerful. If you can set an intention on whatever it is, it can be you want to dive more deeper and into knowing yourself, you want to let go of something you've been holding on into the past, set that intention and you're more likely to come closer with whatever that is, and you're gonna have a much more efficient meditation. If I could tell you the biggest takeaway I had from meditating this past week, it would honestly be, and I could sum this whole video up by simply saying, learning how to surrender to the present moment. I think where I struggled the most was surrendering. I was always thinking about the future. I was always thinking about the past. I was literally thinking about ideas I wanted to add into this video, which had me like stressing in the moment. I was like, oh, I gotta say that. I mean, I was like, I gotta make sure I say this on day 2. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm doing the actual thing I'm filming. Why am I worrying about that? And I honestly came to the realization that all the thoughts, all the emotions that came up, I had no control over them. Rather, I should just let them go, observe them, watch those thoughts, watch those emotions come in, and just let them pass. Because why would I try to control them? Because if I'm trying to control something, I'm not living in the present moment. And this honestly reminded me of a quote by Lao Tzu, which is, if you are depressed, you are living in the past. If you are anxious, you are living in the future. If you are at peace, you are living in the present. And that's all it is. If you can find peace only within this moment. And that's all it should be, right? You shouldn't have to go to the future to find peace. You shouldn't have to be in the past to find peace, because peace is not there. Peace is simply learning how to be content with whatever is going on right now, even if it's painful, even if it's something that's anger that's showing up in your life. If you can be peaceful within this moment, then that's the greatest bliss of all. So if you're considering meditating, I highly recommend you begin your journey. And you don't have to go meditate for an hour and out into like the forest or do whatever you got to do. You could wake up in the morning, meditate for 5 or 10 minutes, even while you're lying in bed. Just become still. You can acknowledge your body, observe your body, see how you're feeling. Just those simple little acts will help you benefit throughout the rest of your day. And one of the biggest things that can happen to you when you meditate is that you become more present to this moment. You learn to detach from things like your phone, you detach from the external world, and you technically take a step back. But taking a step back and going within your heart internally is technically taking 10 steps forward, because you're learning more about yourself. You're learning more about what really ticks you off. There might be something that's like, that ticks me off, but you'll never be aware of it because you're either living in the future or you're living in the past. All right, you're one of them. So if you come back to this moment and you're like, I'm diving in a little deeper to myself, that's actually taking 10 steps forward, because now when you handle another situation in life, you're like, I know how to handle this. I'm better. I'm present with myself. I'm better than I was before. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's those small little steps that you're taking. Key. There you have it, guys. That is my meditation journey. I appreciate each and every one of you to making it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to smash that like button and hit the subscribe button if you are new. And if you have meditated before and you have not told me already in the comments, let me know, and let me know how your experience is going. I would appreciate it, and I'll get back to you. I love each and every one of you. I'll see you in the next video. Stay happy out there. Stay healthy. Peace, y'all.